Greetings, Exile. Welcome to the land of Rayclass. Now your home and your tomb. Rayclass, you see, is filled with new and ancient evils. Both are seeking your blood.
Rayclass has been good to you, stripped you of fear. I offered the gift of exile, and you used it to reinvent yourself. I couldn't wish for a more potent instrument.
As you attempt to explore these lands, Exile, and conquer the evils inhabiting them, you will grow in strength. You will collect gems containing unimaginable powers to use in your own advantage. You'll also learn adjust to the land of Rayclass and harness these powers of your own. But which path will you follow, Exile? Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Jordan, and today I'm going to be showing you all on how to make a proper build in Path of Exile. Now, I mean proper as in a well thought out, planned build, and not just going around spending points willy-nilly, and you reach level 25 and you realize, oh my goodness, my character is terrible. I'm here to help prevent that, because trust me, everybody's been there. Everybody who's played Path of Exile knows that your first character is always god-awful. But you learn from that. Hopefully you learn from that. So your second character isn't god-awful. Might just be a little awful. Okay, well anyway. First off, there's a very, very first step that you have to do when you're going to make your character and you're going to choose your build. First off is choosing which character you're going to be. Now I personally am going to be using the Ranger because I really am familiar with her starting point on the tree, which is right here. If you're curious, I'm using an offline skill calculator, and I really like it. You can download it on the forum. I'll send out you a link in the description, and it's a very, very nifty tool, and I highly recommend using it if you're planning out planning out a build. Yes. Okay. Well, anyway, let us begin. I chose the Ranger because I personally like range classes. Now that you can, of course, be anything. These rules will still generally apply. The goal for my character was, I want this to be a life-based. First off, you want to choose if you're life-based or you are an energy shield-based class. If you were an energy shield, you would not want to start with Ranger. But if you weren't, like me, I'm life-based. So I'm going to become life nodes. I also would like to be a life leech. So I would like to steal life. I would also like to regen life very quickly. And with that, I'm choosing Blood Magic as one of my major key passives. Right here. Instead of using mana, I would like to spend blood. I'd like to use my life instead of that. And with all the life nodes I plan on getting and the life regen and the life steal should work out perfectly. Now on top of that, I don't want to be an elemental bow user. I would like to be a physical bow user. More specific, I would like to be a frenzy split arrow bow user. My plan of action is to use Frenzy, which will increase my attack speed up to about 60% if I get every single Frenzy charge that I possibly can and have a level 20 Frenzy gem. I can get up to 60% attack speed just off the Frenzy. And then, of course, Split Arrow is a wonderful AoE. Not to mention, Frenzy is a great single target attack. Also, I would also like to be defensive. So when I mean defensive, I don't mean I'm going to be rushing evasion. Well, I kind of am. I'm going to be rushing evasion, and then I'm going to be converting all of that into armor using Iron Reflexes. So Iron Reflexes is my second keystone. And with that, I'm going to be picking up a few passives, such as the plus 10% evasions, plus 30% evasion, etc. I'm also planning on using the Aura Grace, which will get added on top of all of this evasion, all of this increased evasion, and then get it converted into armor, which is a tremendous amount, like an insane amount. It's a lot of armor. A lot of physical damage reduction, which is really annoying. And, of course, with that, we are, of course, just going to get resistances because, you know, you can't really play this game without resistances. You'll die right away. Resistances are pretty much the most important defensive node. I also, because I do play hardcore, I'm picking up Unwavering Stance because that is honestly one of the most important nodes you can get for hardcore. Because if you get stunned, you are going to have a bad time. Okay, so let's start to plan out my build. Also, another thing I'd like to mention about Unwavering Stance is most desyncs happen after you are stunned. The client will think that you're not stunned, so you can move around freely, but the actual server will think you are stunned and know you're stunned, and so you'll actually be locked in spot and you'll just be getting attacked and you'll be like, but I'm not even around anybody. Unwavering Stance helps fix that. Okay, so let's start off with our build. We can grab this increased evasion, and another thing that I like about this is it'll select the quickest path if you just select a little bit farther away, this tool here. And I am going to go down here and pick up these life nodes just because they are on our way. My first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I can get all of my keystones. So let's go down here and grab Iron Reflexes. And now I would like to go over, grab Unwavering Stance. Now I like to go over and select Blood Magic. Now this is not final. If you were looking at this build and you're realizing like, wow, he's gonna be messing up somewhere, we are going to revise this. I'm gonna also teach you how to revise your build. Let's go ahead and get Iron Grip. Oh yes, I also forgot to mention that I'm picking up Iron Grip. As a physical bow user, Iron Grip is very, very useful, considering it'll take the damage you would get from strength that would only apply to melee, and it'll apply it to ranged attacks. So let's go up here and let's grab, I actually want to head this way anyway, and let's grab Iron Grip. Okay, cool. So we have all of my keystones. We have all of the keystones that we want. Now if you would look here, I'm wasting 2 points here, when in reality, I could just spend 1 point right there, and I can get rid of these 2 points. So immediately, I just saved 2 points right there. So now, let's look at this build. Let's see what we got here in terms of these little kind of important passives. They're kind of important because they're just a little bit bigger than all the other ones. Diamond Skin, plus 15%, and it is only 1 click away. Of course we are getting that. Plus 15% attack speed, hell yes, we are getting that. Now don't forget, we wanted to get all the Frenzy Charges we could possibly get, so Frenzy Charge right there, and Frenzy Charge right there, and I believe there's another one right up here. So let's grab those Frenzy Charges. Now, let's start to look at our life. Because, remember, we are going to be life-based, we are going to be using Blood Magic instead of mana, hopefully at some point. Usually around like level 60, I usually go Blood Magic, because that is right around when I have enough life regen to be able to take care of all that. And so, instead of picking up these 3 like I could pick up these 3 and increase my life by an extra 2%, and also gain some strength. I don't like to get these 3 life nodes, just because you have to spend another extra point to get it. But I do like getting up this intellect and this intellect, because this build has little to no intellect in it whatsoever, and that is very nice for leveling up curses, for leveling up wrath, for leveling up anger, etc., which will increase your damage. So those 2 intellect nodes are very, very important. Now speaking of damage, we still want to be able to do damage. Let's grab the very close attack damage nodes that were right at the beginning of our tree here. Let's go around and pick up this and grab these damage nodes. Now I'm skipping out on these. We can actually get rid of this one now. Let's get rid of it. Okay. The reason why I didn't get these 2 is because they don't really do too much. I don't really care for those. I mostly got the 4% attack speed, the 8% physical, 8% physical. I had to get that just because I wanted to get the 18% more physical damage with bows. Okay, cool. And now if you look from where we are on the tree, we could grab some life right here if we wanted to. If we really wanted to, we could grab life right here. We could grab life right here. And we can grab life right here, which I think we are actually going to because we're heading this way anyway. So this will increase your life by 12%. It's very nice. Let's grab these resistances up here because resistance are very important. But what else is very important is the life regen that's pretty close to it. And then of course there's always that plus 12 increased maximum life. So checking out our build down here, I notice we also have Golem's Blood. Let's grab that and grab the surrounding life nodes and more life regen nodes. So we can have all of the life that we can possibly have. And how could I forget about Thick Skin? Increased life by 18%. This is a huge life node. You'd be stupid not to get it. Very, very stupid not to get it. Let us see here. What else are we currently missing? Oh, yes! We can, of course, get the plus 2% physical attack damage. Back his life. And then, of course, another 24% life nearby. And if you were a PvP, if you were a PvP player, and you were very interested in PvP, you could always just grab this, and you become very, very good in PvP all of a sudden, because people won't be able to leech life from you. So that's always handy. So there's a few things that you could think of here. If you weren't playing hardcore like me and you didn't want to get unwavering stance, you could save a bunch of the nodes and you could just head straight up here, only spending like 4 as compared to spending 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, something like that, 7 or 8 nodes right there. You could only be spending 4. You could have 3 for something else, like maybe like 3% more life. But I do like unwavering stance. So let's see here. What could we possibly else be missing? Huh. Oh, also, if you really, really want it. Oops, I actually did that. Another thing you can just do with that is just re-click it, and it'll get rid of all those nodes that were connected to that node. So that's pretty nice. If you really wanted to, you could get that plus 30% increased fire damage with weapons, which I believe will power up anger by 30%. Very, very useful node, and it's only 2 clicks away. Very hesitant to get it. Let us check out what else we need to get. There's a few more things I'm currently missing, and I cannot seem to find them. Oh, yes, okay. The evasion. There we go. Increase our evasion by another, what, like 50%? If you really wanted to, you could get these 2 nodes, but in my opinion, not really worth it just for the 10%. These 2 were worth it just so I could get the 30%. And these ones that you get in the beginning are above 10% by a great margin. Well, at least the beginning one is, of course. Okay, oh, and to top it all off, if you really wanted to, you can get plus 6 to all elemental resistances. So this is a very, very elemental resist heavy build, and along with the defensive that you get from increasing your grace by about, what is it? You can look on the left here and you can see our defenses. 156 increased evasion rating. So grace will be increased by 156%. That's a lot. And then of course it'll all be converted back into armor, which will decrease damage that you take, of course. Now, this is actually kind of fun. This is why I like using this offline skill tree. You can look at how much life you would get from the passive strength nodes, and then you'd see how much increase your base life would have. Say you had 1,000 life. This would increase your life by another 1,000, and then another 92%. So 1,192. No. 1,920. So in total you would have 2,920. Yes, I'm good at math, aren't I? And from here, because this build, it does say 97 points used, that is truly right around level 80 currently in open beta. I believe you can get up to 20 extra skill points. Yes, you can. Because you get so many for beating the game, actually. So you do get 20 extra skill points. So this build is right around when you want to start doing maps, really. When you start really want to doing maps, around level 80. So this is a pretty good endgame build, personally. I am currently playing it on hardcore. Sadly, my first character died at level 50 because of a desync, and I died. It was when the servers were very unstable, but hopefully, you know, they're fixed. I really enjoy grinding gear games, and I think that they made a fantastic game. Alright everybody, if you enjoyed this video, I've been meaning to do a build like this. I've been meaning to show off my build. I've been meaning to show other people how to make a build. And it's really, I really enjoyed making videos like this. So if you enjoyed it, go ahead, subscribe, share this video with other people. Hopefully a newer person would benefit greatly from this. To recap on what you should probably do when you make a build. Again, this doesn't apply to every single build out there. Just, you know, more of the cookie cutter builds. You want to aim to be defensive. You want to get HP, or you want to get energy shields, depending on where you started in your tree, and just depending on your personal play style. You want to decide if you were going with blood magic or you were getting mana nodes. A downside from using blood magic is I can't use auras such as hatred, because that will reserve about 30% of my life, which is bad. The other auras that I plan on using use a static amount, around like 200 life, and that's not really too much compared to 30% of all of my life. So you want to go ahead and do that. You want to figure out which skills you're going to be using and how they will synergize with your build nicely. Of course, I'm using Frenzy, so I would, of course, want to get Frenzy charges, which will increase my attack speed. And then finally, you just want to make sure if you're playing hardcore, then you want to stay defensive like I am. If you're playing softcore, yeah, sure, maybe we could say, screw this life regen. Screw this life regen, I don't really need it. Let's go ahead and just get some more damage nodes. You can do that if you really wanted to. Softcore, you can afford to die. Hardcore, yes, we've all been there. We can't afford to die. Alright guys, well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you all next time. Peace out.